Venezuela, where tensions are mounting as opposition leaders and leaders around the world have rejected the weekend election results and are calling for election officials to release paper voting records from all precincts. In Caracas today, a defiant President Maduro vowed to arrest opposition leaders, telling supporters at a rally, quote, "We will uncover and capture them all." We are now joined by a man who knows a lot about being in the political crosshairs. Leopoldo Lopez founded one of Venezuela's leading opposition parties. He was later arrested and eventually had to flee the country. Mr. Lopez, thank you so much for speaking with us. You were a prisoner for 13 years before you were able to leave the country. How are you doing?
No, I'm doing well. I'm optimistic that we are close to seeing the end of the dictatorship.
Can we talk about the opposition leaders, Maria Corina Machado, Edmundo Gonzalez? Where do they go from here? And also, what dangers do opposition leaders face right now?
So let me just give a brief context of where we are. We went to an election last Sunday. It was not a free nor a fair election. Maduro disqualified candidates, took millions of people their right to vote, closed media stations, imprisoned many people. But with all of those obstacles, we went to an election, and it was a landslide. Edmundo Gonzalez, our candidate, won 70% of the vote. In each one of the 16,000 voting centers, we had witnesses, people that were there to get the printout of every voting machine. And we can prove with more than 85% of the printouts that the candidate Edmundo Gonzalez won with 70% of the vote. Now Maduro wants to impose on the Venezuelan people his will and this fraudulent result. And I believe that this won't happen. It won't be, I don't know the time frame, but I do know that the Venezuelan people will continue to fight, to struggle for freedom.
Leopoldo, it's incredible to see the people there in Venezuela still fighting, despite the voter intimidation, despite the threats, despite the unrest there. So many Venezuelan citizens, more than 1,000 people, have been arrested since Sunday's election. After this election, what can people do there to find some sort of resolve? Should they keep fighting? As an opposition leader yourself, what would you be doing there in Venezuela?
Well, what we are doing, I am in contact with Venezuela every hour of the day. There are millions of people in Venezuela continuing to push towards freedom. And let me just explain when you ask, what can we do? So this is a struggle that has different battlefields, to put it in a way. One of them is the electoral one. We won by a landslide. A second one is the streets, the people protesting, people power through voting, people power through the protests that need to take place and have been taking place in the streets. The other battlefield is the international community. We need to get the democratic countries of the world to support that Venezuela is the opportunity to win back democracy and to start a process that I am sure will impact positively Cuba, Nicaragua, Bolivia, and beyond.
It's certainly historic. And I want to point out that this isn't the first time election results have been rejected. And the international community and opposition leaders as well have rejected election results before. What is different this time, if anything?
Well, one main difference is that the difference between the people who want change and the people who are supporting the dictatorship it's huge. It's 85-20 if we consider the people who 85-15, I'm sorry, if we consider the people who left Venezuela. Maduro doesn't have any popular support. Maduro only has the military, the police, the guns. The second aspect that makes this moment very unique is that we have complete unity. We had a candidate, Maria Corina Machado, who won the primaries. She was disqualified. We were able to register Edmundo Gonzalez, a 74-year-old Venezuelan diplomat, and he won the election. And everybody coalesced around Edmundo Gonzalez. All of the political parties, civil society, all of the country coalesced around him. And third, we have heard from the international community, from those who are ideologically closer to Maduro and those who are further, saying the same thing. The results of last Sunday must be respected. So that makes this circumstance a unique one, and we won't let go. Our leadership, who is in the ground in Venezuela, won't let go.
Well, we, together with the rest of the world, will be watching. Thank you very much for your time, Leopoldo Lopez. Thank you.
Thank you very much.